My name is Jaleel Vester. I'm the Business Education Coordinator with Urban Impact, and I have here with me Aisha Ellis.
Yes.
Please, if you wouldn't mind just giving us a little bit of an introduction with who you are and how you came to be here.
Okay. My name is Aisha Ellis-Asim. I am the owner of Life Salon. I have been in this location for 15 years now. I also produce the annual hair competition, the Reign of Style hair competition and show. And that's what I do right now.
Perfect. Love it. So we're just super, super grateful to have Aisha. She is one of the participants in the Business Accelerator
Yes.
program. And so we're really just conducting some interviews of some of the people that have graced Urban Impact with their presence. So, how did you hear about the Business Accelerator program?
So I received the email about the accelerator program and just kind of, read up on it and decided that it would be a good opportunity for me to learn more information about running my business.
Mm, okay, I like that. So, when you were looking for more information on how to run your business, what were you after? Like, what was the gap that was missing that you were hoping the program would fill?
So I think the mentorship is a really big part of running a business. A lot of people that I know have actually started running their own businesses, but we don't always know all of the ins and outs. We don't know like what all we should be looking for and what type of business license we should have
Mm,
or what type of accountant that we should go to. And so being a part of like programs like this actually help you to figure out all of those things for your business.
word,
Yeah.
word. So, having gone through the program,
Hmm.
what do you feel like you gained that has helped you get to where you're at now?
Let's see, going through the program definitely helped me see things about my business that I did not know. So they definitely focused on knowing who your clients are, what your
Mm,
clients' needs are, those types of things that when you've had a business for a really long time, it's easy to kind of, just work with your clients that you do have, but
mm,
not really know your numbers and
mm,
detailed information. And so those things were really helpful with growing my business and how I want to grow my business,
mm,
knowing those exact numbers, where my clients live, demographics, those types of
mm.
things. Yeah.
So before knowing the demographics, knowing who your client was, what were you doing before knowing all that?
I have a pretty steady clientele, so it
Yeah.
was just like my regular people were here,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
one of my goals is to eventually buy a building, have a bigger space. So knowing that information is extremely helpful with the next steps that I would like to do for my business.
Come on.
Yep.
Okay. No, I love that. And how did you start your business? Because everyone wants to know, like what was it? What inspired you? What's your origin story?
Origin story is I always wanted to have my own salon. I've worked in two other salons before I opened up my own space. It was kind of a quick kind of turnaround. I had a morning job that I had had for years.
Yeah.
I just did hair in the evenings and on the weekends, and they ended up laying us off. And it was kind of like, oh, okay, here's the opportunity to actually do it full time the way that I would like to. And I probably did that for a couple of months, and this space became available and I jumped right on it,
Come
and
on.
everything just kind of fell into place. Like God was showing out and I just
Come on.
space, chairs, everything, just
Come
worked
on.
itself on out. So yeah, been
That's
here
legit.
for 15 years now.
That's legit.
Yeah.
So now typically when anyone gets laid off, because I have some friends
Yeah.
that got laid off and then went into business for themselves, the
Uh-huh.
first thought usually isn't, oh, this is a great opportunity. So
No.
talk me through like reliving that moment. You're doing your thing, you get
Hmm.
laid off. What was like the first thought? And then how did you say, okay, you know what, let me just go at it myself?
Well, definitely the first thought was fear. I owned a house, and so it was kind of a scary time to think of now I would really be depending on myself to
Mm,
take care of things. So of course it was fear a little bit there, but then the fact that I was now available all the time, I was
mm,
able to grow my clientele, which
mm.
I wasn't able to do before when I
Yeah.
had basically that, I guess I don't want to say call it a stumbling block, but it was just this the morning job that I had was basically holding me back from doing what I
Mm,
really wanted to do, because I wanted to be sure that I had a certain amount of income coming in when really this was my dream.
mm,
So the fact that it had to kind of be taken away from me to
yeah.
actually move forward was definitely a blessing. And
Wow.
so it gave me the opportunity to build a clientele,
Yeah.
during that time. And then once this opportunity presented itself, I knew that it was time just to go ahead and move forward. So, yeah.
That's awesome. So you got laid off, you went into business for yourself.
Yes.
Now you're living your dream job. And
Yes.
then you started what is now one of the biggest hair shows in the
Yes.
Northwest.
Yes.
Talk me through that.
So for me, because I am a hairstylist and I love learning new techniques, I would always go out of town for all of the hair shows and competitions. And I knew that I wanted there to be something here in Seattle that
Mm,
we could showcase just who we were and how talented we are. And I decided to just go for it and create this space for stylists and barbers and students to just show our art in different ways that we're not always able to do, like
yeah.
everyday styles. That's what most people kind of do, but
Yeah.
to show your artistic side, like, we don't get that opportunity much. And
Mm,
so the Reign of Style show gives stylists that opportunity. So
yeah.
yeah.
And so the Radio Style Show is a hair show where, and maybe you can explain it better, but from what I
Yeah.
understand, the research I've done, you see some wild stuff. Like I'm just kind of doing some research and I'm like,
Uh-huh.
okay, you are some artists that are putting
Yes.
on some crazy style. So what would you say is the craziest kind of hairdo that you've done?
I haven't done many crazy hairstyles. That is, I put the show on. Like, I'm the producer of the show. Like, it is a platform for everybody else that is artistic in that way. I mean, for me, the first two shows I showcased, and nothing that I did was too crazy besides it still being colorful and, different styles and
Yeah.
that type of way. But we have had incredible schools that have entered the shows before,
Mm,
and our schools and other stylists always have the fantasy category. And so with
mm,
them, they have had circus themes, and we have had like sailboats in here before. And
wow.
we've had every stylist that enters the show for the main category comes up with a theme. So whatever
Mm,
their theme is, you're going to see hairstyles that fit within their theme. And
mm.
so you might see, good everyday styles, but you might see something that you've never seen before.
That's legit.
Yeah.
So no one just starts a hair show out of scratch.
Oh no.
It's very rare. So what was your first step in getting this thing off the ground? Like from when you had the idea
Uh-huh.
to when you started doing, what did that look like?
First step was trying to find just a location. Location was probably the most important thing for the show. Looking for a space that everyone knew, that would be accessible, that would draw a large crowd. I mean, I'm from Seattle. I know how it goes here. People want to know that it's going to be a big event. Like, if they're going
Mm,
to take their time out, if they're going to enter the show, they want to know, like, people are going to see me, and
yeah.
what are the reasons for me to enter your competition. So
Mm,
those were things that I had to really think about, and selecting the Seattle Center was like the perfect space.
mm.
Yeah.
So how did you answer that question though for people to say, hey, I do want to participate. Like how'd you overcome that objection for them to get into it?
I received a lot of objection from people because it was fairly new. You know what I mean? Like, there was probably a couple of hair shows that happened here before. There's bigger shows, but not shows like what I was trying to get people to do. And so
Mm,
there was a lot of people that were excited about doing it, but then there was a
yeah.
lot of stylists that were like, nah, I'll come. I'll see what it's like this time.
Yeah.
And then maybe I'll enter next year, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. So it definitely is a art to trying to convince people to
Yeah.
participate in something that they've never done before, and not to let fear kind of hold them back.
So what did you tell them to get in there?
Just that this is an opportunity to, showcase who you are, to showcase your art, to let Washington see that we have so many talented hairstylists here. Like,
Mm,
so many people will say like, oh, there's no hairstylists here in Washington, or I don't know where to find people at. And they're here, they're everywhere. Like, we are scattered all over,
yeah.
but this show gave them an opportunity to kind of get their name out there as
Mm,
well. And so that would be the thing that I would, explain to them and saying,
mm.
this is a good thing to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so was it easy getting the venue and the participants and
Getting the
the
venue was probably the easiest part.
word?
Like, getting the participants was the hardest part.
Wow. And
Yeah.
so, and what was the first year of your
The
first show?
first year of doing it was 2009.
Okay.
Yeah, so I took
Wow.
a break. I got married. I had some babies, and then I came back to doing
Let's
the
go.
show. So this will be our, I think, the fourth year back from the break. But then we had COVID, and that gave
Yeah.
us a 3 year gap. So
Okay.
so yeah, we will be back July 30th this year. I'm
Let's
very
go.
excited to be back.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So you mentioned your faith a lot. I
Yes.
already hear it in
Yes.
your voice and your tone, and so I'm like, okay, bless the Lord. That's a blessing. What has your faith meant for your business?
Oh, definitely the thing that I hold on to, because running your own business it's not an easy thing to depend on other people to sustain your life, pretty much. Like,
Yeah.
if you have a regular job, you know what your check is going to be every week, every 2 weeks,
Mm,
whatever it is, there is a guarantee of what that is going to look like for
yeah.
you. Whereas when you run your own business, you really have to depend on people to show up.
Mm,
And so knowing that I can trust in God to basically be like, I got you, no
yeah.
matter what the situation
Yeah.
is. So that has been a really big thing that has gotten me through all of these years of having
Mm,
this business.
mm. And business is the entrepreneurial journey, as you guys know that are
Yeah.
watching this, is not easy.
No.
It's not easy at all. What is the hardest time that you've had to go through in your business?
For me, COVID was probably the hardest time for me with my business. It was the first time that I could not work and that I had no income coming in. So during
Mm,
that time, we were not allowed to be in here working at all. My other stylist that works in here wasn't allowed to work. So that is other income that is not
mm,
coming in at the time.
mm.
And so it definitely was an eye opener for me to have other streams of income.
Yeah,
But at the time, I had none. So it was
yeah.
definitely a hard time for me to deal with as far as my business went.
So how did you make it? What did you do?
I had amazing clients that still sent me money no matter what, even though they
Wow.
weren't getting their hair done.
Wow.
So that was a major blessing, and just showed just how great they are, like the clients that I have and the
Yeah.
relationship that I've built with my clients.
Mm,
We got a little bit of unemployment, which wasn't
yeah.
much for self employed people. So, I mean, that was helpful during that time. But it definitely got my brain going and
Mm,
realizing that there were other avenues that I needed to kind of explore. That's what happened during that time.
yeah. Yeah. So what were some of those other avenues that you decided to say, hey, you know what? Obviously, this first model of my business, this
Yeah.
this version of myself needs to have more so I can be more protected
Yeah,
in times of,
definitely.
economic greatness and then economic
Hmm.
downturn, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what are some of those other things that you started adding to yourself?
So some of the things that I added were other products that the salon was carrying, and then I started my own product line for the salon. So that was something that I had dreamed about doing for years
Mm,
and just never really moved on it.
yeah.
And during COVID, that was really the time that it opened up my eyes that, okay, girl, you've had this idea, you've had
Yeah.
a name, you've had all of these things for years, and you have not moved on them
Mm,
due to fear or just, whatever
yeah.
reason it was. And so knowing that that was something that, like, it was one of the things that my clients did not have products. So,
Mm,
it was like, even during COVID for me to say, oh, well, use this product, or this is the product that I use on you all the time. Things
Yeah.
they weren't able to get them. They weren't able to, they didn't know what to do with their hair
Mm.
because they're spoiled and they come to me,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
being able to actually have my own product line that I trust in and that they trust in available for them to purchase is one of the things that I started. And so I now have my own product line.
Okay, and I believe we have some of those
Yes,
products
these are
right
some of the
here.
products now. So this is my conditioner that I have. I have my leave-in conditioner, and then I have my moisturizer for curly natural hair. And then we have, this is my awakening shampoo, which has menthol in it for like dry, itchy scalp.
Mm.
And then I have tons of other products, edge control, foam, oil,
Wow.
so I have a whole line of products right now.
That is awesome. What does it look like to be receiving that passive income from product sales?
I mean, it's still pretty new, but it has been great to actually see just the reviews, the response that my clients
Yeah.
are giving me about the product and how much they love it and that
Yeah.
they love it on their hair. So that has been a wonderful thing to be able to see something that you've wanted to have for a really long time actually happen and for
Yeah.
people to love it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so hard question. All
Okay.
right, so we got to get a little juicy. All right, why didn't you start sooner?
I think, like I said, fear. There's always a comparison thing that can happen in this industry. You know what I mean? It's like there's a million hair products available now, which
Mm.
wasn't always the case, but there's tons of hair products available now that you can get at any store. And so I think that kind of helped me back a little bit from actually creating my own product
Mm.
line. Like, well, if people can buy, these names that everyone knows at
Mm.
even Rite Aid or Walgreens or
Yeah,
Safeway now,
yeah,
where they couldn't before. Like, why would people just buy my products?
yeah,
And so those are the thoughts that kind of start to creep in sometimes and make you say, oh, well, I'll just keep using what I have, or I'll just keep
absolutely.
buying, the things that I have been buying. But
Mm.
it was always there and it never went away. It was something that I always wanted to do and always
Mm.
thought about and would always, continue to write down the goals and dreams that I had
Yeah,
for the product line.
yeah.
And like I said, during COVID, just that knowing that I did not have something
Mm.
available for my clients, but also just to provide for me and my family was one of
Yeah.
those things that made me say, okay, the time is now.
So it was almost like you saw the need, and the need became bigger than the comparison or the
Yes,
doubts. You're like,
yes,
you know what, screw it, we're gonna make this happen.
yes,
So that's awesome. And I've heard this quote that comparison is the thief of all joy,
yes.
and it robbed you of joy for years.
For
This was in your heart.
years,
How long was these products? How long were these?
definitely since 2014.
Wow,
Yeah, for a really long time.
come on. So then now I want to ask, what's in your heart now for yourself in the next 5-10 years?
Ah, I mean, definitely to continue to grow Post Products by Life Salon, to purchase a building for Life Salon. That's something that I've really wanted to do. It's a dream of mine that I am definitely trying to decide if it is a dream that I will make a reality. I think
Mm.
that is something that the program really kind of helped me with
Mm.
is every dream you really, really have to look at it. You have to know the ins and outs
Mm.
of that situation.
Yeah.
And though it has always been a dream for me to purchase a building and have more stylists, the program really had me look at
Mm.
what that would look like for me. So,
Mm.
how many stylists I would need to have renting a booth for me, or how many stylists I would
Mm.
need to have as commission, and how much money would really need to come in for me to pay that mortgage and the
Yeah.
lights and just different things like that I
Yeah.
had not actually written out and
Mm,
thought about. And so, though it is still a dream, it is something that I am still working out and
yeah.
figuring out if it is something that I truly want to do. So I will say it is still a goal in the
Yeah.
next 5 years, but that and just to continue to grow Reign of Style and all the things that come with it. We do
Yeah.
a beauty in the business educational class. We
Nice.
do the main award ceremony, and so just
Wow.
all of those things for it to continue to grow and become a larger platform for Washington.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
And you mentioned your family. How big is your family?
My family is I have my husband and my 3 daughters.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And
And
are
then all of my family is pretty much here in
in
Seattle
Seattle.
also.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's for sure. We
So,
got the network right here.
yes,
That's
definitely.
legit. Any of them put in some work in the salon?
Oh yeah. My mom and my sister and husband and brother-in-law, they all help paint the salon and get the salon together. They all help and support when it comes to the Reign of Style and the
Mm,
show. Like you will see my mom probably working at the, taking
wow.
tickets or,
Yes.
things like that. So my family is a huge support to my business
That's
in all aspects.
Did you feel like it was because of them that you were able to keep pushing yourself to be in business, or
Definitely. My family really, really supports everything that I kind of come up with. And I come up with stuff pretty often.
okay?
And so I'm sure it drives them crazy sometimes too, but
Yeah.
they are always there to help and support me in every way and let me know that they're proud of me and that, if I have a good idea or if my idea
Yeah.
is too crazy and they're like, let's scale it back just a little bit,
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate them and their support.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So, for anyone else that's thinking about getting involved with Urban Impact's Business
Yeah.
Accelerator programs, what would you have to say to them?
I would tell them to definitely do it. Like no matter what, you are going to come out of this program with more knowledge than what you had before. It's
Yeah.
going to cause you to think about different things with your business that you hadn't thought about at all, like
Mm,
never thought about. So
yeah.
even like I said, like with me being in business for as long as I was, there were so
Yeah.
many things that I just had not even thought about. And so, yeah, being a part of the program would be an amazing, amazing gift to them.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I love bringing, quantifying things.
Hmm.
So, pre business accelerator, post business accelerator, how much money do you think that it's been able to help you make? Let's just
Oh,
say
that's
maybe
so
like
hard.
a percentage of growth experience after going through the business accelerator.
Oh, that's so hard for me to think of numbers in that way. To say maybe like 15%, I would say that.
Word.
Yeah.
Okay, so worthy investment.
Yes,
That's
definitely a
legit.
great investment.
That is fantastic. So I want to know, because I know that it's impossible to know everything.
Yes.
What's a question that I would ask or should ask that is, if there is something that you would like to say just to our audience, is there anything that's kind of like on your heart that you would like to talk about to
I guess I would probably say to like find someone to like try to find a mentor like
mm,
for your business that can actually give you just help and information. Like it's so hard to know everything or to try to figure everything out on your own. Like that is definitely who I am as a
mm,
person, is someone to try to figure everything out on my own and
yeah,
do everything on my own. And I think if you can just find someone that is willing to help you make the right steps for your business, that is very important. And I guess this program would definitely be one of those things that can help you with
awesome,
that.
awesome.
Yeah.
Where can we find out more about you and your business and your products?
So you can find out more about my business at lifesalon.com, and that is two S's. And then reignofstyle.com is where you can also find out more information about the upcoming hair competition.
Perfect. And
Yeah.
then where is your business located?
My business is located in Seattle, Washington, 7629 Rainer Avenue South.
All right, you need to get your hair done. You know who to go to.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.